Dutch Schultz was not born a monster. He was born Arthur Flegenheimer in the Bronx to poor German Jewish immigrants. His father worked odd jobs. His mother tried to keep the family together, but the neighborhood was rough, loud, and unforgiving. Arthur learned early that softness had no place in the streets. He grew up angry, at poverty, at bullies, at the world. When Arthur was 14, his father abandoned the family. The shame stayed with him forever. He refused to use the name Flegenheimer again. He reinvented himself as Dutch Schultz, a name that sounded tougher, meaner, and ready for war. As a teenager, Dutch became notorious for violence. He beat classmates for pocket money, robbed lunchboxes, and threatened anyone who crossed him. Teachers feared him. Other students avoided him. Dutch was already acting like a gang boss before adulthood. At 17, Dutch was arrested for burglary and sent to Blackwell's Island prison. The experience hardened him. Inside, he learned to fight better, think sharper, and trust nobody. When he walked out, he wasn't a confused kid. He was a criminal with purpose. In 1920, the US banned alcohol. Almost overnight, criminals became businessmen. Dutch saw opportunity everywhere. Illegal breweries, hidden bars, smuggling routes. He began hijacking liquor trucks and selling the stolen booze to speakeasies. His profits exploded. Dutch recruited tough, loyal men. Some were ex-boxers, some street fighters, some desperate young men who needed money. Together, they formed the Schultz gang. Dutch ruled them with fear. If a man disappointed him, he was beaten. If he betrayed him, he disappeared. Dutch started attacking rival bootleggers. Trucks were ambushed. Drivers vanished. Bottling plants burned mysteriously. Bit by bit, Dutch controlled the Bronx liquor market he didn't negotiate. He eliminated. Dutch built hidden breweries in basements, warehouses, and abandoned buildings. They produced thousands of gallons of beer every week. Bribed police protected them. Dutch became rich. Unbelievably rich. Rumors spread about Dutch ordering murders where bodies were stuffed into car trunks. Some of these stories were true. Some weren't. Dutch didn't correct anyone. Fear was a useful weapon. Dutch wanted more than bootlegging. He wanted the Harlem numbers game, a gambling empire run mostly by black entrepreneurs. Dutch sent gunmen into Harlem betting shops. Owners were beaten, robbed, and threatened. Within months, Dutch controlled the entire racket. Harlem hated him. He terrorized small business owners, forced them to pay protection, and stole profits from local operations. Dutch didn't care. To him, money was money, no matter who he hurt. Those close to Dutch feared him. He could be calm at breakfast and order a murder by lunchtime. One insult was enough to spark violence. People said looking into his eyes felt like staring at a man ready to break. Most gangsters preferred negotiation. Dutch preferred blood. His answer to problems was bullets. It made him powerful, but also unstable. Even his own men whispered about his madness. Dutch's expansion into Manhattan angered the Italian Mafia. He was not Sicilian, not connected, and refused to pay respect. The Italians planned to cut him down. Dutch prepared for war. New York was about to explode. Shootouts erupted in bars, on sidewalks, inside cars. Bombs destroyed saloons. The press called it the Beer Wars. Dutch didn't back down. He attacked Italian-owned bars, ambushed soldiers, and left bodies in gutters. The big players, Lansky and Luciano, watched Dutch carefully. He was strong, unpredictable, and dangerous. They didn't want a full war, but Dutch's actions threatened the balance of the underworld. Despite constant violence, Dutch stayed free. He bribed police captains, detectives, prosecutors, even judges. When he walked into police stations, officers looked away. Fear protected him better than lawyers. Dutch extended his extortion to city officials. Bars, restaurants, and hotels were forced to buy his beer. Those who refused found their businesses beaten, burned, or shot up. Dutch earned millions. Joe Rock, a Bronx gangster, tried to rebel against Dutch. Days later, he was found dead with 20 bullets in him. The message was clear. Dutch Schultz was king, and kings don't share thrones. As power grew, so did paranoia. Dutch believed everyone wanted to kill him. Rivals, police, his own men. He began renting multiple hotel rooms at once, moving nightly. He kept guns hidden everywhere. Dutch lived loudly. Expensive clothes, flashy cars, luxury meals the IRS noticed. They charged him with tax evasion. Dutch laughed. He believed he could bribe his way out. He underestimated the government. Dutch's first tax trial became a media spectacle. He showed up drunk, insulted the prosecutor, and tried to charm the jury. It worked. The jury acquitted him. Dutch walked out smiling. They retried him in a small upstate town, far from his influence. But Dutch changed strategy. He acted polite, dressed respectfully, and spoke softly. The jury pitied him. He was acquitted again. Though he won both trials, Dutch spent millions on lawyers, bribes, and protection. His empire was cracking. His men were restless. Other gangs smelled weakness. Prosecutor Thomas Dewey began targeting Dutch. Dewey attacked Dutch's gambling and extortion networks. Dutch panicked. He saw Dewey as a threat that must be eliminated. Dutch ordered his men to assassinate Dewey. But this was too far, even for the underworld. The Mafia Commission, led by Lucky Luciano, feared Dewey's death would bring the government's full wrath. They decided Dutch had to be removed. Luciano, Lansky, and other bosses secretly voted. Dutch Schultz must die before he killed Dewey and destroyed them all. Dutch sensed betrayal. He moved constantly, carrying thousands of dollars in cash. His paranoia worsened. He stopped trusting his closest allies. But his enemies were already watching. Late October 1935. Dutch met his men at the Palace Chop House in Newark. He believed it was a safe place. He ate steak, drank whiskey, and boasted about killing Dewey. He didn't know death was minutes away. 2 professional killers from Murder Inc. entered the Chop House carrying pistols. They walked calmly to the back. They opened fire. Dutch was shot in the stomach, the thigh, and the chest. His men fell beside him. The hitmen vanished into the night. Dutch collapsed, bleeding heavily. Whispering curses, Dutch was taken to Newark City Hospital. Doctors fought to save him. Even in agony, he tried to pull out tubes and demand whiskey. They strapped him down. Delirious from pain, Dutch began rambling nonsense. Nurses recorded everything. His final words became legendary for their madness. "Please, mother, don't let them pick on me. French-Canadian bean soup, give it to me. They're coming. They're coming." It was the brain of a man who lived by violence, collapsing in confusion. On October 24th, 1935, Dutch Schultz died from his wounds. His reign of terror was over. He was only 33 years old. The Bronx liquor empire fell apart. The Harlem numbers racket was taken over by Italian crime families. Dutch's soldiers scattered or were murdered. After his death, investigators raided Dutch's safe houses. They found coded documents, cash, and weapons, but never uncovered all his secrets. Dutch was rumored to have buried a fortune. Gold, cash, and bonds, somewhere in upstate New York. Treasure hunters still search for it today. No one has ever found it. Dutch Schultz didn't win loyalty. He forced it. His men obeyed because disobedience meant death. His leadership was built on fear, not respect. To Harlem residents, Dutch was a monster. He stole their businesses, terrorized their community, and killed anyone who resisted his legacy. There is pure hatred. Luciano and Lansky quietly celebrated. Dutch had become unstable and dangerous. His murder saved the Mafia from a war with the government. At his funeral, barely anyone showed up. No waves of mourning, no loyal soldiers. Dutch died the way he lived. Alone, feared, and despised. Schultz's death marked the beginning of the end for uncontrolled bootlegging operations. The Mafia took over and professionalized the business. Even in a world filled with killers, Dutch stood out. His temper, paranoia, and impulsive violence made him unpredictable and ultimately doomed. Unlike Luciano or Capone, Dutch lacked long-term plans. He ruled by emotion, not intelligence. His empire was strong, but fragile. Everywhere he went, he created new enemies. Italian Mafia Harlem gangs, police, business owners, even his own men. No one trusted him. Problem, a rival. Solution, kill him. Problem, a witness. Solution, kill him. Problem, a debt. Solution, beat or kill him. This brutality kept him alive until stronger forces united against him. Dutch had girlfriends, but no real relationships. He treated women like disposable accessories. His temper scared them. Many left quickly. Dutch loved money more than loyalty, respect, or peace. He chased profits recklessly. Every decision was about immediate gains, never long-term stability. Schultz was among the last independent gangsters who refused cooperation or alliances. After his death, organized crime became more structured. To the Mafia Commission, Dutch Schultz became a lesson. Uncontrolled violence threatens business, and business always comes first. Newspapers wrote dramatic headlines about him. His unpredictability fascinated the public. He became a symbol of Prohibition chaos. He chose Dutch Schultz to sound scarier and more American. It worked. The name struck fear everywhere. Dutch didn't negotiate his way to power. He killed for every inch of territory. He forced his will on the underworld. Before the hitmen reached him, his empire was already crumbling. Betrayals, debt, fear. His house was falling apart from inside. Police, the IRS, prosecutors. Everyone wanted Schultz dead or locked up. His arrogance gathered too many enemies in law enforcement. The Mafia voted unanimously to kill him. He was too wild, too reckless. His plan to kill Dewey sealed his fate. New York's crime rate didn't drop, but the chaos did. Bars, clubs, and businesses felt safer without Schultz's terror. Schultz had power but lacked patience. He spent foolishly, fought constantly, and lost control of his world. His downfall was inevitable. Dutch Schultz left behind a trail of bodies, a stolen Harlem fortune, fear that lasted years, and a cautionary tale about uncontrolled ambition. In the end, Dutch Schultz wasn't just a gangster. He was a storm, violent, chaotic, unpredictable. He rose fast through fear. He fell fast through madness, and his death reshaped the American underworld forever.